Hey y'all, it's Miss Naylor. We're going to be doing the root mal as our first 8th grade root, so you need to grab your Blue Roots book and turn to page 80. In the medieval calendar, 2 days in each month were marked as dies mal, evil days. January 1st and 25th, February 4th and 26th, March 1st and 28th, April 10th and 20th, May 3rd and 25th, June 10 and 16, July 13th and 22nd, August 1st and 30th, September 3rd and 21st, October 3rd and 22nd, November 5th and 28th, and December 7th and 22nd. Any enterprise begun on one of these bad days was certain to end in failure. Our word dismal comes from dies mal, but today a dismal day is merely gloomy or depressing. Was he really ill when he stayed home from work during the week of the World Series, or was he just malingering? Malinger originally meant to be bad in health, but as with many words, it has changed over the years. It now means to pretend to be ill in order to avoid any duty or work. If you stay home from work pretending to be ill, you're malingering. If you claim you had a bad back when the walk needs shoveling, if you develop a headache when you're supposed to be going to a boring meeting, if you were too weary after dinner to help with the dishes, you could be malingering. A number of words beginning with mal are easy to understand because mal simply gives the word a bad meaning. Malnutrition is bad nutrition. Maltreated means badly treated. Maladjusted means badly adjusted to the circumstances of one's life. Malfunction means to function badly, as an engine malfunctions. Malpractice means improper treatment of patient by a physician. Now, before we go any further, I want to point out now that you're in 8th grade, any words that show up in that first section that I just read can show up on your roots quiz. So that means in addition to the words that are actually in the chapter, we've added, dismal, malnutrition, maltreated, maladjusted, malfunction, and malpractice. So you need to highlight all of those right now. Again, dismal, gloomy or depressing, malnutrition, bad nutrition, maltreated, badly treated, maladjusted, badly adjusted to the circumstances of one's life, malfunction, to function badly as an engine malfunctions, malpractice, improper treatment of a patient by a physician. Now let's start looking at the words in the actual chapter. Maybe. There it goes. So go ahead and highlight mal and underline its meaning bad. And we'll move on to maladroit. Maladroit is an adjective. You might make a note of that. Your book does not know what the parts of speech are, and that can really help you. So maladroit's an adjective. It means not adroit, not skillful, awkward, or clumsy. And let's look at an example. I would say this individual was absolutely not showing skill here, right? Let's look at our sentence. The new supervisor was maladroit in dealing with the employees. He was clumsy, he was awkward. Malady. Malady is a noun. It literally means a bad condition or a disease, and that is actually how we still use it. So go ahead and underline those two meanings, and let's look at this tree which has malady with all its interesting growths happening. Science has reduced the number of incurable maladies. Malaise. Remember, it's mal meaning bad and ase meaning ease. It means a vague feeling of illness or depression. So highlight malaise, note your roots, underline the definition. As she was preparing for the interview, a slight malaise came over her. Malapropism. It literally means badly appropriate. It's usually used very specifically, so we use it to relate to how inappropriate someone's word choice is. So badly appropriate, not appropriate, a ludicrous misuse of a word that sounds somewhat like the word intended. So we're going to watch just a couple seconds of this commercial where we hear some malapropisms.
Made more clearly the create your own shrimp and seafood complications. First shrimp from 6 populated shrimp dishes. You surrogate your favorite.
So he's already misused 3 different words. The first one was the most obvious, shrimp and seafood complications, when he meant to say combinations. So that's an example of a malapropism. Let's go ahead and move on to malaria. comes from the roots mal meaning bad and air meaning air, right? Bad air. The reason is because we used to think that malaria, which of course is actually caused by mosquitoes, or spread by mosquitoes, I should say, we thought it was caused by the bad air in swamps. Now we know we thought that because obviously there are lots of mosquitoes around swamps because they breed and lay their eggs in the water, so you know. But malaria used to be thought to be caused by bad air, so that's still where that word comes from. Malcontent. So malcontent is exactly what it sounds like, mal meaning bad and content, of course, how happy you are, so badly content. The definition that I like better here is a discontented or rebellious person. So we use it to revert to the person. He was a born malcontent, always complaining. Maladiction, from the roots mal meaning bad and dict meaning to speak. And a malediction is a curse, or the opposite of a benediction. A benediction, bene meaning good, dict meaning to speak, would be like a blessing. Malevolent, from the roots mal meaning bad and vol meaning to wish, means exactly that, a bad wish, wishing evil towards others. And if you've never seen Sleeping Beauty, I hope you will, because it's amazing. But the evil character is called Maleficent, because Mal, bad, right? She's the bad character. So this is her evilly laughing. Very evil. Malfeasance, from the roots mal, bad, and fac, to do. Wrongdoing, especially by a public official. So when we talk about people who've been elected to office making bad choices, breaking laws, or even just, doing things that we consider bad, maybe it doesn't break a law, but it's a bad choice, that is malfeasance. And it is a noun. The mayor was accused of malfeasance in his distribution of public funds. So he misused the funds. Malice. Active bad feeling or ill will. Malicious. Intentionally bad or harmful. So remember, just like always, we're highlighting our words and underlining our definitions as we go. Malicious is an adjective and malice is the noun, so you might make a note. Malicious is the adjective. She refused to listen to malicious gossip. But malice is a noun. The past president felt no malice toward the candidate who defeated him. So those words are very closely related. You want to make sure you know which one is used in which place in a sentence. Malign. To speak evil of or to slander. I have some really, really great slander from early American history, so take a look.
A nation destroyed, dwellings in flames, gray hairs bathed in blood, female chastity violated, children writhing on the pike and halberd. It happened in France, but it could happen right here in America if Thomas Jefferson is elected president. Murder, robbery, rape, and incest will be openly taught and practiced. The soil will be soaked in blood, and the nation black with crimes. Great God of compassion and justice, shield our country from destruction. Vote Federalist.
Paid for by the Adams 1800 Committee. Alexander.
Now, obviously, this was created kind of in jest, but the words that are in it, everything that you heard said, those were actual words that were used during this election. So I think that there was some definite slander happening here, or in the political debate, his opponent maligned him. Right here we have Adams maligning Jefferson. So that is malign. Then we have malignant, which means bad or harmful, likely to cause death. I think the way we most often hear this is, of course, in reference to cancer, and there are benign tumors and there are malignant tumors. And if it is, let's look at our sentence. The biopsy revealed that the growth was not malignant, so it was a benign tumor. It was not harmful, whereas a malignant tumor would be. And our last word, malinger, to pretend to be in bad health to get out of work. This includes school, FYI, so if you tell your mom you don't feel good so you can stay home in bed, you are malingering. So here's our definition, to pretend to be in bad health to get out of work. My favorite example of malingering is, of course, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, when he tells his parents how sick he is and then spends the entire day hanging out with his friends. Now this is a verb, so you might make a note. I hope you've gone through and made sure that all of your words are highlighted and all your definitions are underlined. You also want to make sure that you have highlighted and underlined the words and definitions in that opening section. And your assignment now is to go through and do exercise 1 and exercise 2. Oh, I'm sorry, not everything in exercise 2 is related to this chapter, so I apologize. You need to do exercise 1 right now, please, and make sure that all of those words are in the appropriate place. I'm going to say, as I said last year, it would really benefit you to use this almost like a quiz. Use it as a tool to help you study. You might do this in pencil. You might give yourself a word bank, so you're not actually looking at the definitions, and then you can check the answers in the back. However, you shouldn't be copying the answers because that doesn't do you any good. It's not a tool to help you learn that way. I am depending on your integrity here, that you're going to show scholarship and integrity and respect for what we're doing and actually follow these instructions. Do exercise 1 and then check your answers so you know which words you need to study more, okay? As always, the words are for this week, but the roots are forever. So any of these roots could show up on any future roots quiz, all right? Best of luck.